So I'm going to start what I consider the actual play of the game, which is I've dealt out the 2 cards of each type to each player. I'm only playing with 2 players. I normally play with more people, with the maximum a game can hold. Largely it's because of the space on this table. I don't want to play this. This is the place where I want to play this. I don't want to unfold the card table. Yeah, I'm being lazy. But on top of that, I don't see much harm in playing in only 2. There's a little bit of interaction. You're taking cards that other people might use, but it doesn't feel like it's that much of a competitive play. All right, so let's take a look at the first player and see what he has as options. And we kind of want to be able to see a bunch of information at once in order to see if there's a synergy. Okay, so to begin with, this starts, and this is important, with some values in terms of, I get some initial tiles, which can be very helpful. Whenever you fail one of these challenges, so normally when you fail a challenge, you get an experience point. Here, well, you get 2. That's not as appealing. I'm more apt to go with this one, which will give you experience, with extra experience in the types of challenges you're involved in. It looks like a better card overall, but if this fits in better with where we're going, and it may, we want to aim for that. All right. Natural leader, once per turn, you can gain. If you have no allies, once per turn, you can spend to gain a dark, an anti-hero card. What is this? Soul Survivor. And that gives you some tragedy victory points as well, which is kind of a nice thing. Let's take a look here. At the end of the game, you gain 1 dark. So, this guy probably will be aiming for stuff that is tragedy, right? And that would count towards these things. So I might want to align those. And 1 for each dark, each tragedy in your story. I'd be starting here, so instead of only getting 2 points for this, I would get 2 extra. Those tend to be really good. The problem is, it's towards the darkness. There are negatives towards going in that direction. At the end of the game, you gain 1 light for each of 2 different types of things. I don't remember what it is. 1 accomplishment for that. But 2 for each ally that you sacrifice, and I assume that means discarding an ally. 2 dark. I'm not impressed with this. There aren't a lot of allies that I saw last time I played. This, however, is about equivalent to this, except it's towards the light. But I think we're going to go with the Hand of Vengeance as our goal and move towards darkness. And that means what we want is, once per turn, I can spend to gain. Okay. Getting an additional tile can be useful, especially early on. But cards can also be really useful. And it's unlikely I'll have allies. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to discard this. I'm going to discard this, because I don't need it. I don't want to put this there yet. All right. And whenever you fail a challenge, so this has a bonus towards collecting the thing that I want here. And it already starts with one of them, so we will go with that Outlander. It's not really the thing I want to do, but it matches my set. I'm going to take a little break and then we'll work through the second player. Okay, let's set up our second player and see what we get for them. You can see, I mean, with the small table, I'm not setting the tableau up yet for various reasons. All right, get two that come with two capabilities there. Let's see, during your challenge, if at least one is one of those two, you gain. Okay, these are functionally the same. Well, no. This is the better type. This one is the, this is different. This is a type I haven't seen. You can pay 2 experience to take a retry. You know, might be better to just have an extra, no, you don't get an extra token. You gain experience from this. Well, that's a hard decision. Driven to despair. At the beginning of the game, you gain a darkness. At the end of the game, you ignore... Oh, boy. You ignore any in triumph, victory, whatever, from traits or challenges. Oh... You had better have a good reason for wanting this. Now, this starts you out with 7 victory points. That seems like a big quantity. I mean, look at what... Well, we don't have too many options, but we have 2 from this. But if you don't have something that's going to help you with those darkness and make them more valuable, I don't know. That's pretty tough. And once per turn, you can spend to gain whatever that is. That fits in with both of these cards. So I am really tempted towards this, or likely to take that. Okay, let's look at this one. At the end of the game, you gain 4, that would match with this, and 1 for each type of story icon in your story. That gives you a bonus for not being able to collect sets of story icons. So that's kind of interesting. At the end of the game, you gain 4, well, I got that over here, and 1 for each of these that you have unplayed, which, if you have those unplayed, it's pretty easy to get them played. So I don't know that that's all that appealing. I'm tempted more towards this. So let's take a look at what that means. That means, well, that means I'm aligned with the pickpocket rather than the hunter. Just because I want to gain that point. I don't know. This is really useful. This works with both. We're taking that, we're getting rid of that. All right. And now I finished the setup. I think I've got everything in place except each player gets a hero card. I can peek at those to show you what that is. So this one, this allows you to gain an extra rune on an attempt, and by playing it, I get an extra story point there. You might, in order to be able to tell that story, you might want to somehow mark where this card is in your storyline, but again, there's not a trivial way to do that physically. Surprise attack, again, this is just to add an extra of a type of rune to things. So now I'm going to set up the tableau, and I think that I can get all 3 layers in here. I had them that way when I was playing before, but that's part of why I played a trial run, is to see if I could do it physically without overloading the table. And I've got plenty of extra space that I could remove if need be, but I kind of I didn't need to, and I like that. And you'll see why, because you can actually get rid of a layer at a time sometimes too, so that actually improves things. The whole tableau set up now. In 4 players, you actually have an extra card on each layer, which again, if I played with the full amount, not only would I need space for the extra player cards, tables, which would be painful enough, that would pretty much eat up the table and I'd have no space to keep these within easy reach, but these would actually extend further, so I'd really be pushing the table. Now, theoretically, I don't need these laid out yet, but they're there. All right, let's jump in and start. Well, one thing you got to do all the time is keep in mind what you've got here. And you're allowed to look at it, you just don't want to show it. So he's going to want darkness in his story, and these in the little angles. And somewhere or another, it tells me what those all mean. Unfortunately not on my player aid. I have to dig into the rule book to look these up regularly. So this one is Constitution, and the other one is this little beak, which is Dexterity. So those are things I'm looking for. You can see I could get it here. This is neat. It boosts me up here. That would weaken my ability to play darkness cards, which I get a bonus for. So I probably actually want to aim kind of towards them. Other options, let's see. Steal to survive. Let me see what my card is here. So I'm allowed to add 2 things that I don't have in my book here. I could gain this if I had strength, or I could spend a point of experience and just grab this, and that would give me some combat capability that I don't currently have. Foundling, I can just pick this up. There's no special consideration to it. It is a trait. It will give me some goodness, and it'll give me a card and a lot of victory points. And that's not unappealing. My challenges are one in which I would be getting 1 extra pip, and I don't have anything that helps with. Plan the city defenses, sword and magic, neither one I have. I'm probably going to grab a trait. Which trait do I want? Well, I feel like I'm not very good at combat right now. Much as this might be helpful, giving me an extra card, which could definitely be valuable, it's going to restrict some of my chances. I think I'm going to go with this. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So I'm going to pick this up, but that's going to cost me an experience to grab. Now that's a pretty minor cost, and the way I mark that is I put it here. This gets played. I'm pretty much done with my turn. There's some things I could do. Conceivably, I could spend experience to get rid of a card at this point. Like if I didn't like this card, that feels kind of dicky, but as far as I can tell, that's allowed in the rules. Let's go to the next player. Let me take a short break though. Light my pipe. So he's interested in these things, and there are a couple that have magic on them, and he's interested in story icons. No biggie there. This doesn't have one though, so whatever you want to do. My challenges, this would be strength and intelligence, and I don't have any of that. Here I can add strength or dexterity. This is actually one I could succeed in. I'm actually pretty good at this. I have 2 pips towards it. Gosh. I want to collect up Constitution. I'm tempted towards this just because I have the greatest chance of succeeding at it. So I'm going to try to forage for food, because that gives me, oh, yeah, that gives me the thing I want, Constitution. And so this is my first challenge. Now, I could have grabbed that Foundling. That's not a bad card, but I don't want that yet. Play this before you attempt. Okay. So I will get one of these and one of these in my set. Now I only have to hit 4. I can count on 1 from this and probably 1.5. That gets me to about 3.5. I would be able to roll again. I'm able to spend experience to gain one of these. This might... see, I want to get this played eventually, but I may not want to play it right now, is the whole issue. So I'm pretty close to success. I would rather not pay 2 of these. This is more limited than that. I'm going to pay to gain another one of these. I'm not going to pay for a darkness rune. And now I shuffle these and throw them. Yeah. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Nothing special. I have successfully foraged for food. And that goes here. I put these markers back wherever they belong. The gray and the black are hard for me to discern where it's just shallow. I'll keep these out because they're with every challenge, basically. And I flip a new card. It's a companion. I can put this on anything. It will add 1 to the toughness of that challenge, but I can put it on any challenge. But I can also... It gives it as a bonus to the player who gains that. Now, I know I had something that had a, you don't want this. So I'm looking at the challenges that are out there. And the question is, do I want to make this harder, make this challenge harder, and possibly gain this companion? A companion who doesn't really help me. That would be something that I'm collecting up already pretty nicely. This is a very tempting challenge. I think I'm going to put this over on the planned city defenses that I am very unlikely to do. Make that harder. But I'm not that interested in the ally. And now I draw another one to fill in, and it's Survive the Flames. Which... again, I have an extra couple of things on it, and it's a fairly cheap one to get. So that's kind of appealing. And it generates victory points, but so does this. I got this. This one's really appealing to me because either way I take it, it generates victory points for me, and it can get me this new magical capability. So that's very much up my alley. I'm going to use this thing to mark whose turn it is and take a break. One thing that I haven't been doing as I played my other solo game and with this one, is really paying attention to what the other guy's collecting. I notice he's collecting these things, and I'm interested in those things. And that puts me in a more interesting situation in terms of we're actually competing over the same shit, and that's obvious. And that heightens the importance of trying to grab some of that stuff. All right, let me look at mine. I am interested in being dark, but also collecting up these Constitution events. And I have room for another one. I have no allies. Wow. I should have done this last time. I don't know. I don't really have a way to generate experience, which is a shame. Most characters have something neither of us do. Most of the time, like most of the cards in your origin allow you to generate experience. And I'm not seeing that here. And that makes experience more valuable, and it makes it, more questionable to have two things that allow me to expend experience to get some kind of advantage. So what do I want to do here? Well, survive the flame is easy. What was my other one? The beak. I think that's dexterity. Survive the flame is easier. Is there some reason to pick one of these over the other? This one's a little bit more expensive. And I don't want the magic one, which would give me something interesting. But this one's a little bit more expensive and gives me a story device. So let's think about what we want to do. In either case, we are looking at... This one's much easier for me. Okay. We'll go for this one. Do we want to heal the wounded? Not particularly. Right. Okay. So I have one of these and one of these. That's what I just get. I need 3 successes. I feel like I'm pretty close to there. So, do I want to draw a dark card yet? Nah. Because 2 of those allow me to cancel a failure. So I'll just survive the flames. Oh, not good. That's a failure. I could spend 2 experience to rethrow, and I think that's worth it. Now, isn't it guaranteed failure? I could have maybe gotten a useful card off of that one, and I could have bought a useful card from that. But instead, we get a massive success. We survived the flames, and store that up here. Doing that one-handed is not trivial. And we draw excel in your studies. Pause time. Actually, for me, I'm only good at one of these things that's out there, which is I have 2 runes that'll help me towards that. So I am going to go for that. Am I interested? I am interested in the Harness Dark Power because I don't have any wands, and in terms of like effectiveness, I'm almost at the top of my effectiveness in these. Yeah, getting a 3rd one isn't terribly, isn't awful, but wands are helpful in a couple of these, and I only have one of those things left. Unfortunately, Harness Dark Power, that's going to be 4. 4 is a lot. I have a failure protection though. Alright. 4 is a lot. I got 3. I get a draw. I could spend 2 to redo this. Or I could draw a card in the hopes that it can save my ass. I am going to spend the 2 to redo it. I could actually expend, if I had it, another one and get a dark shit in here. I didn't think about that. Alright, this time I succeeded because this is worth 2, 3, 4. A bare success. And I get a dark card. Play this after another hero has attempted the challenge. They must attempt it again and now have +1. That's a dicky card to play. And we will probably do that if he succeeds in something. And we draw a Rebellious. You may only gain this if you gain a dark, which might not be a bad thing. Or you can just spend an experience. Okay, well, you know. Neither one may be a terrible result. Gaining 1 dark still allows you to play both kinds of cards. So I don't know. Constantly having to check this thing, see what my victory points are. This is something I want. And I don't have any of them. I do not have any experience. I'm already partway to dark. It would mean that I wouldn't get to play this if I go down there. But I don't see anything I'm terribly excited about. I could grab the Foundling, but again, I'm not sure. Oh no, I'm not already in dark. Alright, we will grab this. Gain a level of dark. We're done with the 3rd layer, or the 1st layer. So we pull some of these. This is an adversary. I didn't know there were any in deck 2. Mainly I'm looking to see if there's a card that's a problem. There is not. There's 2 adversaries. They're a little harder to deal with maybe than other things. And then I draw this. And we get one of these. And now we go down here. And technically I should be moving this back and forth, but I'm not going to worry about it unless, like, you know, the runs come upon me. Again, I'm having physical problems. Really, that have, you know, it's hard to tell, but I started having some gastrointestinal problems since I got my 2nd vaccine, and you know, I don't know. Could have been stuff that's building up. It's just bad shit. Literally. Okay. Over to this guy. Now, he is not stuck to these. He's got these available to him, which might be interesting. But I can't finish this off, I guess, until I finish this off. I don't know. So I am interested in... The Warlock would be interesting, of course, but I am not able to face that. Although, that's a neat ability. I could just discard this. It's a dicky card to my enemy, or to my opponent, but... Oh, gosh. The other side of it, I could grab Studious, which is valuable to me. I already have one of those, so I could get it. I could plan the city's defenses. Is that better? I don't know. It would come with the companion, or I could excel in my studies. All of them are possible. So, right now in each case I only have one towards them. This isn't going to help me. This would help with plan the city's defenses, which might be a valuable choice. You know, that goes up to 5 though. I don't know what I want. Let's look at story icons. This gets me libraries or something. This gets me royalty. I don't see any real match there. Across the board, this is the nature one. So, what does this ally do? Might be valuable. I actually am not collecting a lot of these. All right, let's do it. We get an intelligence. We play this to get ourselves a strength. I'll just tuck this over here. We get, I don't have an experience. I can't throw a darken. Damn it. We get 1, 2, 3, 4. If it wasn't for the companion, we would have succeeded. I get my choice of cards. I'm going to take a light card. I think they're more likely to be better. Only before the challenge, damn it. Not going to do it. I have failed a challenge. I get a point of experience. This set of cards goes away. Yeah, put them over here. They could conceivably get reshuffled in if you're playing in a lot of players. That may be possible. Let's go back, and a new card comes up. Okay. That puts me back up here. And I gotta try to remember that I've got this evil card to play, for whatever that's worth. Fairies are not necessarily very dangerous in level 2. Basically, their ability, the two that showed up, are I got a way to get myself an automatic +1. That's appealing. And of course, I wouldn't be able to convert this into a victory, which is necessarily a negative factor. At the end of the game, I want dexterity and constitution. There's none of that sitting around. I can't do anything with these. That's a problem. I have no experience, so there's not a lot I can do in terms of bonusing myself. I can't grab this. This would give me 1 towards that. I'd have 2 towards corrupting the official. Comes with more victory points, but they're not the kind I want. I'm okay getting them, but so that's kind of appealing. I actually rather like the victory point total here on the map. Oh, these guys are 6s. That's the problem with them. So what if I attack this? I have 2 chits in my favor. I can get a +1 when attempting. I don't know when you're attempting it happens. That's the iffy thing. Okay, so let's try that. We'll take a sword and we'll take an eye. We have both of those. We're going to discard one of these. Now, you don't... I think I can do this after the fact, essentially. That becomes important because I need a 6. I can't take a dark. I have no allies. Nothing's going to help me. All right. I got 3 successes. I get a card. I'll grab a dark card because I'm trying to head that way. Bend the rules. Play this during a challenge or attempting to choose one rune and flip it over. Well, no reason I can't do that, is there? I have just succeeded. This goes into my storyline. This guy says, yeah, you know, but I don't think so. I think you failed and you have a +1 difficulty to that challenge. So now this goes up. Oh, I didn't succeed with this. What am I talking about? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Bend the rules. So I'm at a 3. What the hell was I thinking? I don't know why I thought I might have a chance of doing this. I could go up to a 4, 5. I can't get it. 6 is out of my reach. I think I failed the challenge. I don't know what I was thinking. I get a point of experience. And this cultist goes away. And a new card comes up. Yeah, I really don't know what I was thinking there. Okay. That puts me over to him. Well, what can I find? We still want the same stuff, of course. So we look for... Studious is still there and still kind of appealing. I could just grab it. Is that any better than excelling in my studies? You know, or is that any worse than excelling in my studies? Excelling in my studies doesn't really get me anything terribly advantageous. They've got the same reward to them. I might flip over, you know, draw a card or something. But yeah, I think I'm just peachy taking Studious. Now, the game doesn't give you rules to do this, but neither player can touch any of these again. So what I'm doing is I'm going to discard that entire pile. There's no reason not to. And that gets me more space. He just filled his out. We're there, and it's break time, sort of. This guy's in kind of an unfortunate situation with the cards that are out there. I'm looking at them. I can get an extra crown. That would help here. And remember, I am allowed to play both kinds of cards right now. I'm still in that zone. I could choose a rune and flip it over. I could pay a darkness to add a darkness rune. But that's all I'd have, is really one extra chit and the darkness rune. And that just does not seem terribly valuable. I can't buy this. I don't have what's needed for it. Does he? No. This one's a little easier. That would need a crown. I can get that. I have a sword. resisting arrest is harder. Maybe I can do this one. So I've got my 3 base values. I have a sword. Gotta hit 4 on this. I think it's worth paying this to get myself one of these. And what are my chances? I have no allies. I could grab another card. I have the ability to flip a rune over if I don't like it. That could get me 1 extra. Let's buy a card, see if that's going to help us. Instill fear. Play this as another hero is attempting a challenge. They must choose another challenge or trait instead. Okay. Alright, well, I spent my experience on that instead of a darkness. I'm at 3. I bend the rules and I flip a rune over. That gets me 4. So I succeeded this. And it's this level of it, which gets me one of these. For each dark in your story, give +1 on your next challenge. So I got a +2. That's pretty potent. I have played both of these, and I'm going to have to put these in. You'll notice an adversary came up. It says, when attempting this challenge, you may spend 1 experience to gain +1. If you look at these say once per turn. So I get the feeling that these can be repeatedly done. Again, the rules are a little fuzzy on this kind of stuff. But I would take it as if there's not a qualifier because of the way they handled something else, which was when you can play cards. What are we looking at with him? So Outwit the Gang Boss gives me something that gives me victory points, as does the Warlock. Those are the 2 that are intriguing to me. Okay, Outwit the Gang Boss. I have 2. Geez, I could have done this to him. Forget about my... And I've got one over here. This is the problem with the black ones, is the anti-hero cards. Is there's more interrupts in them, I think. More things that you can do to the other player. Which makes sense, but they're harder to cope with. Okay. Well, my forgetting. So what the hell am I trying to do here? I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Outwit the Gang Boss. I would have 2 extra chits towards a towards a 5 strength. Not great, but also not terrible. This one's also interesting. What would I have here? Well, I have the 2 magic, and that's it. So this would be a little harder to do. In terms of gains, it's just a wee bit more valuable, but not enough to worry about. So let's go for this. What do we add? We add 2 of these guys to it. And what else were we able to do? Anything? Not really. I could add a dark rune. I mean, I'm looking for a 5 here. What's my likelihood of a 5? It's not very good. I don't know if I want the dark rune. Do I not want it? We'll go for it. That guarantees us 1 extra. Oh, but it's 2 extra. 2, 4, 5, and a card. Okay. Let's pull a card first. Since I'm heading in the dark direction, I'll pull a dark card. This turn gain +1 on a dark path, or +2 on whatever this is. It's like villainy or something. Okay. Well, that doesn't give me anything that I can turn this over, so I go 1 towards the dark. And I got this advantage. I succeeded. I have outwitted the gang boss. That gets me up to the maximum that I can get any real use from those, but whatever. Honorable. Okay, you have to have a crown. Nobody has a crown yet, or spend an experience to get that. And, you know, if you're looking for swords, it's definitely a thing. I don't know if you've caught on. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity for choices in the game. But I'm not sure how much... Like, it's very easy to find the... Hey, I want to do this because these things align that way. Dominion has that same kind of type of feeling to it, where you put together different cards and get a puzzle out of it. One complaint, though, that I could see some players putting forward, that's very much my type of game, to look for, hey, I've got some connection, it gets me a bonus, and it's fairly easy to find these bonuses. And there's not a lot of competing choices where you have to try to really, you know, calculate out which one is actually the best for you. Usually one stands out, and it is the thing you want to do, and maybe there's nothing that you want to do. But the one thing that I could say about that, though, is that there's a certain level of ease to those decisions, and I know a lot of players want more challenging, meaningful decisions, whatever, whereas I'm feeling like, these are pretty easy to make. I'm happier with them being pretty easy to make, even though I don't see too much coming out of the storytelling aspect of the game particularly. But to tell you the truth, I don't see much in storytelling of most games that are card-based and such. Okay, well, we don't have anything that's just glaringly good. This one, the Dark Rider, if we could do this, it would be great. That would be probably our best choice. That gets us 4 victory points plus this. That's pretty damn good. It's a 6. I have no experience, though. This one might be easier. I don't particularly want that, but he's good at it. So maybe I want to take it off the board no matter what. And I do have cards which give me a bonus. Of course, this gives me a +2 no matter what. So I don't know. Which way do I want to go? I think it's better to get good at something than not. And, I've got lots of bonuses towards this. I suck at this. So I'd just be trying to burn this card. Yeah, let's go for this. We're good at it. So I've got 1 of these and 2 of these. Wrong flavor. 2 of these. Anything else I can do to help me? I don't have experience, but I do have this, and it's on my next challenge attempt. I think I'll add the +2 because of that. Right? Because this is a 6. I'm going to have trouble getting 6. So I say. I really don't have a lot of bonuses here. Recast the whole lot. It fell on the floor. It's no good. All right. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy. I get this. Nothing special happens. This score is over here. My birdies are here. Let's see. I don't think we can see them. It's harder. They built it in a place that's harder to find. And nothing exciting happens except we draw a card. Pressed into service. Right, which one do I want? I'm already maxed out on these things, but that's worth a victory point to me. But this is as well. This is worth 1 more for a light side victory point. I don't really care which, whether I get tragedy or triumph. This one's a little easier. I don't want to do the breakout of captivity, which is worth more, but becomes harder. This is also... this one might be a little harder for me in a different direction, which is... Okay, I can get a +1 for Dark Path. I'd rather save that for one of these masks, but where it's +2. Let me think. I get 3 chits towards this, and that's it. I would get 1, 2, 3 chits towards this. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to do a surprise attack. I get a sword. 2 constitution. I am going to try the pressed into service because that'll get me my 3rd constitution, which I get victory points for. What else do I like? I like story types. Well, I'm not going to get one there. And I am going in Dark Path. This doesn't say on your next challenge or anything like that, so I think I can do it after I cast my runes. And did he want to stop me? Not particularly, I don't know. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's not good. And a card. If I had experience, I could do something about it. I can only bring myself up to a 4. Well, we're leaning towards dark, so I'll draw a dark card. If you choose a dark path, gain +1 in your attempt. If you choose a light path, gain light. Okay, well, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I succeed. He should have... This had to be done before the cast, I think, because it's as. So I have been pressed into service. Get those points. And I get all of this. I like making surprise attacks. Makes sense, I'm a pickpocket type guy. And this is kind of the problem, is in terms of that late in the game, try to refresh your whole story. man, that's going to be almost impossible playing it solo with multiple characters. But it would be pretty hard at the end of the whole thing to put the story together. Now, if you didn't use the board and you tucked these things under the cards that they're associated with to the side or whatever, maybe it would work a little better. But the thing is, you're going to calculate out your victory conditions, and that might involve, you know, sorting your cards and looking at them and stuff. It's just a pain to combine the two pieces. Climb the summit. All right, I think we're going to break for a little bit. On in the game, it seems reasonable to optimize these kind of victory points as much as you can. And we're still in that state. I'm going to gain an extra tile if I go for this climb the summit. And so that seems like a wise move. We don't have this, do we? We actually do. We could grab this instead. What would this give us? Well, it would give us a card that maybe we're not going to be able to use. It would give us another royalty marker, but that's not worth any victory points. So it's really kind of a worthless card except for giving me a skill chit. It gives me advantages. This doesn't match up to anything I've got. Whereas this one gives me 2 victory points plus something that I want a 3rd victory point plus additional tiles for the level 3. So this is, I think, better. Over here, the Warlock gives 3 victory points. It gives me nothing that matches, and I think I'm okay there. Yeah, I want darkness, but there is no darkness choices available. So, you know, I'm just trying to waste time by chattering, I guess. No big shock there. So I get 2 of these. I'm looking for a 5. Am I more interested in the Find Lost Wisdom option? No. I get 1 wisdom. I don't really have much else I can do. I could grab a dark. I think I'll hold on that. So 2, 4, 5, 6, and a card. I'll grab a dark card. Oh, I gotta start using these just to score the points, if nothing else. I succeed in climbing the summit, and I have reached the end of my level 2s, which means the level 3s turn up. Let's see, make sure we don't have anything too crazy here. Basically an ally is the issue. Ooh. Looks like everything's fine. Then we go back here and we get an ally. Now this is problematic. I'm the one making the choice here. I want to make sure that this goes somewhere that is okay. Is this the guy who has to sacrifice the ally? So this is the only time I've seen any reference to sacrificing an ally. I think in the rules it says discard them. Which I don't know if that qualifies as sacrifice. Let's take a look. No, they say sacrifice there as well. And then they say move to the discard pile. Well, if you have that particular card, you would better keep track of, you know, how you sacrifice them. All right, so what is the princess good for? Well, she gives crown, which wouldn't necessarily help him too much. She's worth 3. I think I'd like to put her on something that is unlike. Well, I actually only have one choice. The Warlock has captured the princess. We draw another one. If it was another ally, it would get discarded. But instead, it is another trait. And that gives me over to him. And his victory conditions are these things. He's only got 2. And wands, he's full up on wands. Which means this is a little less valuable than it would otherwise be. But with the princess connected to it, it becomes a whole lot more valuable. She is nothing but victory points. But victory points which, if there are adversaries up here when the game ends, she dies and you don't get them. So they're risky victory points, right? And she doesn't give much else. Alternatively, I could pick up something from here. I don't have any crown, I don't have any experience. This one's out of my choice. This one, I do not have the prerequisites. This one, I do not have the prerequisites. So the only thing I can do from this level is the Warlock. What about up here? Up here, I don't have the prerequisites. I haven't played enough hero cards. I might be able to defeat something. Tainted by dark magic is a lot of points. Not seeing a lot of matches. Let's see. That would get me 3 towards this. This is a 7, maybe an 8. This one looks cheap, but it only has one type of tile that applies to it. This one I'm not going to be good at. So, damn it. I keep forgetting to do this. Son of a bitch. I really should have foiled him there. But again, interrupt cards are always a problem for me. And in this game, I'm focusing so much on the individual decisions that they don't really seem to mean much. Okay. So what would I go with? This one is probably my easiest. When attempting this, I can discard to gain +1 as well. I think I'll go for that simply because of the princess. I think it's my easiest one to do. Well, oh no, you don't. So this one's denied. And I gotta put this away. Look at the next choice. Again, I can't do any of these traits. I suppose if I'm denied the opportunity to go for this one, I could conceivably, how is this worded? They must choose another challenger trait again. Okay, so, yeah. So if I pick another one and I'm denied that, I can go back to this. So he can only play one of these each turn, really. All right. Again, I can't pick any of the traits, and I don't have experience, so I can't exchange a card. If I was only allowed these, I would be able to exchange a card for free, because I wouldn't be allowed to do anything, I think. So, I think we're looking at Climb the Colossus. I only have 2 towards that. Not seeing a lot of experience in this game. That's one of the troublesome situations. So I get 2 of those. I got no swords. There's really nothing else that I'm good at. So what can I hope to get here? 2, 4, 5, 6. I have almost no chance of doing this. Is this what I'm going to try anyway? Yeah. I'm not going to throw a dark rune in, even though that might give me a chance at it. Maybe I want to just cash one out. Like, what's he good at? Well, he's good at this. So yeah, I want to take this away. So I've got 2, 3, 4. I'm nowhere near, which means I get an experience. The card goes away. Level 3s. A new card shows up. Steal the treasure. Get rid of these. And we're back up here. Now let's see if I can try to remember this. If he succeeds, I can bone him. Gotta remember that. Okay. So we're back here. He can't take from the 2nd level. He's only got the 3rd level. He's interested in dark. That makes this very, very appealing. However, I only have 1 bonus on that. It's only a 5 in the initial level. I don't have this. I don't meet the good quality to it. Others, I have 3 pips towards this. So this one, I have 1 chip towards it. That's all I have. 1. The lack of experience that these characters have is really, really painful. And it's because they don't have something that gains them experience. I am really questioning the value of these cards that expend... Oh shit! This one gives experience. I misread it. I thought it was like this one because I saw, you know, you start putting images on things, and I start having trouble. And this game is reliant heavily on icons, which, you know, how did I ever play Magic? Yeah, I don't know. I got used to them slowly and can't anymore with all the new crap that's in it. Okay. This is definitely appealing. This one I would have 2 pips towards, so that would give me a base of 5. This one I have 1 pip towards, that gives me a base of 4. This one I have 2 towards, that would give me a base of 5. What do I care about? I care about dark. Do I want to find out that I'm a child of the Dark Lord? Well, I guess. All right, we will. So do I gain anything for this? Not really. And that's kind of the problem. This one, at least I gain a crown. Crowns aren't victory points. But it's harder for me to do. I'd only have 2 towards it. That gives me a 5 base. This one I have 1 towards, but it gives me a 4 base. We'll do that. Do I want to take a darkness pip? I think so. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, no. You're going up to needing a 6, and you have to recast. I've already paid for that darkness. There's nothing else I can do to help me. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not a good result. I gain a level of darkness, which, I mean, honestly, this is worth 4 victory points instead of 2 from before. And if I have this, I think I get more. But it also puts me close to the edge of that. I have failed at being the child of the Dark Lord. So that goes away. I get an experience, which are exceedingly valuable. And we get a heroic rescue card. he gets to slide this under there. Oh, neat. Okay. And we're back on him. And I'm going to go for the Warlock. Once again, he's going to prevent that. And now I've got to think some more. Has anything happened differently? Well, this is available. I don't care a hell of a lot about that. It is a different story icon, so it's worth an extra point. But I don't particularly want to do that. I do not have the points for this. I don't have the points for that. So, what am I good at? Well, not much. I have no crowns. I have no eyes. I have no beaks. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to assess things. Swords. Yeah, so I am not good at all. The only thing I could guarantee doing is pick up a sword here. Could be valuable. That would clean me out of here, and I would really like to be able to get this. What about failing something for this other guy? What does he look like he's good at? He's got a couple of beaks. There was one for beaks, this heroic rescue and the dragon's horde. Why don't I go for a call for mercy? I get 3 tiles. I may not even be able to succeed at this. No crowns, no beaks. Yeah, you know, I could spend to burn something. Yeah, let's see if we can get... Well, I really do want this. Let's burn this for 1. Instead of gaining an experience by killing it, I'm drawing a new one. Supernatural. I have played 3 Dark. I'm going to take this. That gets me a card. And one of the things is, you don't want to fall behind too much in cards. You only get 1 catch-up turn at the end. And that draws Banish the Fiend. I think we're going to load up at this point. We're not that far from the end of the game, but the counting becomes more expensive at this point, and I think we've gone fairly far. For people who are just looking to see the gameplay happening, there's no real reason for there to be, you know, an hour-and-a-half video or whatever, right? You got most of the idea of the game at this point, and we'll just continue on the next video.